Hi, Shannon Jung here. Pastor Grant Lowe and Patricia Beatty Jung are here, and this week we're discussing chapter 2, Towards a Spirituality of Flourishing. Last week we looked at the way that all people are dependent on each other. So, for example, the relatively inexpensive cost of living is dependent in this country on those who service people, like waitresses, and farm workers who are being paid the minimum wage. They are ALICE, asset limited, income constrained, employed, the working poor. We are dependent on other people, the planet, and ultimately God.
Yes, that is God's plan for us. But your example of the connection between low wages and, for example, cheap food in this country shows how this plan can go awry. God desires that our connections prove harmonious and peaceful. As Christians, we believe that God loves all people, indeed all of creation, and God desires that we all flourish together.
What do we mean by flourishing? What does flourishing consist of? One way of approaching this is to do a point-counterpoint. First, saying what not flourishing looks like. Alice, Alex, and the poor are not flourishing. Then we will indicate what flourishing looks like.
Well, I would say that what not flourishing looks like means not having the basic necessities that you need. Not having enough food, not having shelter, not having clothing, and then medicine and transportation. And that's what it means to not flourish, not having those basic needs.
So to flourish means having precisely those same basic necessities that Grant just mentioned.
And secondly, I think not flourishing means not having the security of knowing that you will also have them tomorrow and in the future, all of those basic necessities. And that's living with the anxiety of insecurity. That's what living paycheck to paycheck is all about.
So to flourish means to earn enough that you can count on having those basic necessities, at least in the immediate future, feeling safe and secure about your immediate future.
And thirdly, I would say not flourishing means not having the supportive relationships with other people that you need. We cannot imagine living without supportive, if not caring, relationships. And so that's the third point, the relationships with others.
To flourish, we need to make friends, to build our social capital, to develop strong, supportive, interpersonal relationships.
Yes, and I think fourthly, not flourishing means not able to enjoy life, which points to a lack of meaning and spiritual well-being, not having the possibility of contributing to others, to love.
So to flourish means to be able to play, to relax, to get together with friends, to discuss important life questions, to pursue the meaning of life. All of those are not just luxuries for the wealthy, but part of basic human flourishing.
In chapter 2 of Building the Good Life for All, we look at what the Bible and faith have to say about flourishing and what flourishing is. Essentially, you see, we are asking the question, what is the good life?
we might say that flourishing is living as God intended us to live in relationship with God. Now, how does that relate to such things as having a sufficiency of material things, or being able to count on the security of those things, or having relationships with others, or having a sense of meaning and spiritual well-being? How do material and spiritual flourishing interrelate?
So, that brings us to our questions for the week. First, what does flourishing consist of, in your opinion? What does the Christian faith add to that understanding? And what motivates your congregation or you to work for the flourishing of all people? Thank you for considering those questions.